Hello, this is Matt Serponi, Solution Architect with Tricentis. Today we are going to be looking at Tosca mobile automation using MyVerizon native application and Headspin device cloud. During this presentation, we will be looking at the requirements of mobile configuration. We will go through the process of scanning a mobile application in order to create the necessary modules in Tosca. We will then go ahead and walk through the execution of a simple test case. This test case will go through the process of launching the MyVerizon mobile application, logging in, searching for available iPhone cases, selecting the case in question, adding that case to the cart, verifying the contents of that cart before removing the item and closing the application. With that said, I'd like to provide a brief overview of our Headspin environment. As you can see within Headspin, we have a number of different mobile devices that we can leverage for testing activities. In this case, we are going to be using an iPhone XR running iOS 16.2. I'll call out some pertinent information that we will be referencing later in the process, specifically here, the appropriate ID related to that iPhone. If we click on the Start button, we can see a visual of the device we will be working with, including the MyVerizon mobile application. If we come over to Tosca and we go into our modules section, I am going to choose Scan Mobile Application. As you can see, our mobile scan window appears. And from this selection, we can choose the device that we want to scan. And we can identify the application that we want to scan as well. In this case, we are going to select our iPhone XR, which has already been pre-configured. However, if we look at the connection information, we can see that we have defined the device name. We have provided the device ID, which we recently showed within Headspin, and we've defined the device platform. If I already have the device connection parameters for Headspin configured. However, we can also go through the process again. In this case, we will be choosing Appium Cloud. We can give the device connection a name. And we can enter the Appium server address, which is available in Headspin. And after the scanning process, I can show you where that address is configured within Tosca. If I choose the MyVerizon application, you can see that we've identified the type of device in question, iOS. We've provided a name for the application, and we've provided the necessary bundle ID. From here, we can choose the device and choose the related application, and we can establish connectivity. The process of establishing a connection to a Appium device cloud typically can take upwards of about 30 seconds, depending on the connection speed, sometimes faster, sometimes a little bit slower. Variables at play include bandwidth and the device we're connecting to as well. So that connectivity is established. The mobile screen display came up on my other window, but we can bring it up here and we can see during the scanning process, we can interact directly with the device in question. In this point, I will go ahead and choose scan. The XScan application loads, and we can select the controls that we want to interact with. I will choose select on screen. I will move my mouse over the mobile display, and I'll choose the controls that I want to interact with. In this case, I want to choose the I am a customer button. The control is being identified as not unique on the page. Therefore, we have the opportunity to specify specific properties to make this unique. And we save the module. At this point, we can close out, or we can continue to interact with our device and scan additional screens. I have taken the liberty to create all of the necessary modules in advance to generate this test case. So at this point, we can close out of the scanner. We will notice that that module that was created during that scan process, we do have the screenshot of the page in question, and we have the necessary controls. And we can, at this point, go ahead and build a test case from that module. Process of building a test case is rather simple. We simply drag and drop our module, and we have a test case that we can interact with. In this case, I can put in the necessary values to select I am a customer. Again, I've taken the necessary steps in advance to build all of the required modules. So we can go ahead and delete this sample test case. As you can see here, I have a test case called order new phone case _ headspin. And if we look at the components of the test case, we have divided this into 4 different sections. Preconditions. In preconditions, we're going to be launching the application, choosing the I am a customer option, and logging in with our necessary credentials. Section 2 is going to be the majority of the execution steps. So in this case, we're going to be searching for phone cases, and we'll be selecting the phone question in case here, which is the OtterBox. So if we were to go to the next section, here's the OtterBox Symmetry Series case for Pixel 6 Pro. That's the item we are selecting. So in this case, we are going to be, go back one step. Once we search for cases and we select the necessary case, we're going to add that item to cart. We will then buffer the appropriate values that are stored in the cart. In this case, the name of the product, as well as the price. And then we will verify those values are accurate through our verification process. Post conditions include removing the item from cart. I will go ahead and go back to Headspin and just verify that the application has been closed out. to set the stage for test execution. I will then close out of the remote control feature within Headspin. We'll come back to Tosca. We will run this test case in Scratchbook. At this point, we can come back to Headspin, and as test execution is established, we now have the ability to preview execution. You'll notice that the web drivers for Headspin are loading during execution. Once those drivers are loaded, our MyVerizon application will launch and go through the appropriate automation to add our phone case to the cart and verify the contents. Login credentials are entered. We move forward to the search screen. Enter the appropriate search criteria. In this case, we are going to be searching for iPhone cases. Once the search results are loaded, we will go ahead and choose the OtterBox symmetry. We'll get confirmation to add this particular product to the cart. We'll continue on to the cart and verify the contents. At this point, we have chosen the OtterBox Symmetry Series case for Pixel 6. We are going to verify the contents of cart match. Once the verification process is complete, we'll remove the item from cart and close the application. And execution is complete, and our preview is closed out. At this point, we can go back to Tosca, and we can see that this test case was run in Scratchbook. All of the appropriate test steps have been completed successfully. If we look at our verification process, we can see that the expected value for the contents of our cart, our OtterBox Symmetry Series case for Pixel 6 Pro Stardust, the actual value is the same. Verification is successful. We can also see that the verification of the price value was also accomplished. Expected value $49.98, actual value $49.98. Thank you for your time during this demonstration. Again, this was a demonstration of Tosca mobile automation using the MyVerizon mobile application in Headspin. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.